is a work of art, reshaped by every thought. Change your thoughts, change your life. Imagine if you could reprogram your brain like a computer, erasing bad habits, installing new skills, and upgrading your mindset. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, it's not. This is the power of neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself based on your thoughts and behaviors and experiences. Most people don't realize that their daily habits, emotions, and even their self-identity are shaped by neural connections that they've been strengthening for years. But here's the kicker. Your brain doesn't care whether it's wiring you for success or failure. It just follows what you repeatedly do and think. So, the real question is, are you using neuroplasticity to shape your life or letting it shape you by default? Today, we're going deep into how neuroplasticity works, and more importantly, how you can harness it to build a sharper mind, break bad habits, and unlock new levels of success. By the end of this video, you won't just understand how your brain works, you'll have a blueprint to rewire it for greatness. Let's dive in. Number 1. Neuroplasticity. Your brain is not fixed. For years, scientists believed that after childhood, the brain stopped growing. They thought intelligence, personality, and even abilities were fixed, that you were simply born smart or born talented. But we now know that's completely false. Neuroplasticity proves that your brain is always changing, always forming new connections. The more you practice a skill, the stronger those neural pathways become. That's why when you learn a new language or instrument, it feels difficult at first, but with repetition, it becomes effortless. Your brain physically rewires itself to make the process smoother. But here's the problem. Neuroplasticity works both ways. If you spend years reinforcing negative thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed," those thoughts become automatic. Your brain doesn't judge whether a belief is good or bad, it just strengthens whatever you repeat the most. So ask yourself, what thought patterns are you reinforcing? Are they serving you or are they holding you back? Number 2, the thoughts you repeatedly think become your reality. Your thoughts are not just passing ideas. Every thought you entertain is strengthening a neural circuit. That's why people who constantly think negatively often stay stuck in a cycle of anxiety and failure, because their brain is wired to expect it. But what if you started feeding your brain a new reality? Instead of, "I can't do this," what if you constantly reinforced, "I can figure this out"? At first, it feels unnatural, because your old neural pathways are still dominant, but over time, your brain starts to believe it. Those pathways strengthen, and suddenly, what once seemed impossible starts to feel normal. This is why successful people seem confident. It's not that they were born that way, it's that they've spent years reinforcing thoughts of confidence and possibility. Neuroplasticity isn't just about intelligence, it's about shaping your mental habits, your emotions, and your self-image. Number 3, habits shape your brain, not motivation. Let's be honest, motivation is unreliable. One day you feel inspired, the next day you don't. But habits are automatic. Think about it. You don't need motivation to brush your teeth every morning. It's just part of your routine. That's because your brain has hardwired it into your neural pathways. Now, imagine if success habits, like waking up early, reading, or exercising, were as effortless as brushing your teeth. That's the power of habit-driven neuroplasticity. Every time you repeat an action, your brain reinforces it. That's why the hardest part of building a habit is the beginning, because you're literally rewiring your brain. But once the neural connections are strong enough, the action becomes second nature. The takeaway? Don't rely on motivation. Instead, focus on repetition. The more you do something, the stronger the neural pathway becomes, until one day, it's simply who you are. Number 4. The power of deliberate practice. Here's something most people get wrong. Simply repeating something isn't enough to improve. If that were true, everyone who's been driving for 10 years would be a professional racer. The secret is deliberate practice, pushing yourself slightly beyond your comfort zone every time. This forces your brain to create new neural connections rather than just running on autopilot. For example, if you're learning a skill, don't just repeat what you already know. Challenge yourself with something harder. Struggling means your brain is growing. If you avoid challenges, your brain stays in its comfort zone, and no real change happens. Number 5. Visualization is a cheat code for your brain. Did you know that your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination? Studies have shown that athletes who visualize their performance activate the same brain regions as those who physically train. This is why visualization is so powerful. When you vividly imagine success, whether in business, fitness, or personal growth, you're literally programming your brain to expect that outcome. And when your brain expects something, it subconsciously guides your actions to make it real. The best way to do this? Spend 5 minutes every day visualizing your success as if it's already happening. See it, feel it, believe it. Your brain will do the rest. Number 6. Your environment shapes your brain. Your environment is not just a backdrop to your life. It is actively shaping your brain every single day. The people you surround yourself with, the spaces you occupy, and even the digital content you consume all have profound effects on your neural structure. Our brains are designed to adapt to the world around us, and they do this constantly by forming new connections based on our external stimuli. Think about this. When you're around positive, motivated, and focused individuals, your brain tends to mirror their attitudes and behaviors. Your body picks up on the energy of those around you, and your neural pathways shift accordingly. On the other hand, when you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, or low energy, your brain starts to reinforce those patterns as well. The same applies to your physical environment. If you live or work in a cluttered, chaotic space, it sends a signal to your brain that things are disorganized, and that leads to heightened stress and poor focus. Conversely, a tidy, organized, and calming environment can encourage clear thinking, creativity, and better decision-making. Even the digital content you expose yourself to shapes your brain. Constantly consuming news filled with fear or negative headlines can wire your brain to focus on potential threats and reinforce a scarcity mindset. This is why it's so important to curate your environment consciously. Take a step back, evaluate what's surrounding you, and ask yourself, is this helping me grow or is it draining my energy? By intentionally designing your environment, you can accelerate positive brain rewiring. Number 7. Sleep is essential for brain rewiring. Sleep is often underestimated as a tool for mental growth, but it's arguably one of the most powerful elements in the process of neuroplasticity. The hours spent asleep are not simply downtime for your body. They're a critical period during which your brain performs essential maintenance and rewiring. When you're awake, your brain forms new connections and learns new things, but it's during sleep that these connections are solidified and optimized. Deep sleep, in particular, plays a major role in memory consolidation. This is where your brain takes all the new information, experiences, and skills you've acquired throughout the day and downloads them into your long-term memory. Without adequate sleep, your brain struggles to store and retain this information, leaving you in a state of mental fog and reduced cognitive function. Additionally, sleep allows your brain to detoxify. During sleep, your brain's glymphatic system becomes more active, flushing out toxins that have accumulated throughout the day. These toxins can impair cognitive function and neuroplasticity if not cleared regularly, so a good night's rest is essential for keeping your brain in top shape. Many high achievers understand the link between sleep and success, prioritizing rest as a key factor in their productivity. Sleep doesn't just allow your brain to rest, It empowers your mind to rewire itself and prepare for the challenges ahead. Make sleep a non-negotiable part of your routine, and your brain will thank you by functioning at its optimal potential. Your brain is constantly evolving, shaped by your thoughts, actions, and environment. Embrace the power of change, rewire your mind with intention, and design a life that reflects your highest potential. Because at Progrixx, we believe in the desire of many to become unique.